For some reason, not only do I like filming these videos, but I find watching them fascinating. This is one of my favorite videos to film, and I know I do it at least twice a year, so let's get going, right? Hi everybody, today I will be talking about my planner lineup for 2021, my planner notebook situation, right? It's a situation. This is going to be a little bit of a different year. In 2020, the way that the world has gone has changed radically the way that I plan my life because we're not doing as much. Like, I'm still doing plenty. I work for myself and there's lots to do there. And I still have kids who are both in virtual school and my husband, but I'm not leaving the house for meetings. I'm not leaving the house for volunteering. I'm not really leaving the house for shopping. Like, I'm really just sort of in the house, except when I go for walks for the most part. So my methods of planning in the past did not feel as helpful as they would now. Like, they didn't feel as helpful as they used to. So I'm changing things up probably more than I ever have in many years, many years. So let's just get right into it. Let's start with sort of the easy one to talk about, and that is my Google Calendar. Whoops, that's my Google Calendar. This is what it kind of looks like. I color code the shit out of my Google Calendar. Let's pull up a week here. Now you can see a lot of it is up there except for appointments, but there have been times where I have gone in and I have time blocked my Google Calendar. There have been other times where I just put my appointments in there and the things I want to go live that day or whatever, deadlines, but then I do the planning myself in a regular planner. Basically, my Google Calendar on either my computer or my phone is my future planning. That's where all my future planning goes. Originally, I used to keep my future planning on the monthly spread of an Erin Condren, but now it is both more efficient to have it online, but it's easier to change up. I can work farther out. In my Google Calendar, I have different calendars for different things, right? These different colors here are for different calendars. I have one for Skillshare classes, one for Patreon planning, one for freelancing, one for times I'm not going to be in the house. There's calendars for my editorial calendar for my custody. There's a family calendar. That one and the custody one are shared between my kids, my husband, and I, so that we can see everything that's going on. We're all my kids and my husband are all digital for the most part. Kat has a notebook that they use and a little planner, but generally speaking, they're digital. And I discovered that doing my planners on paper, it might have worked for me, but they would never look at it and just ask me all the time. And I really got fucking annoyed. So doing it digitally is just better for us. And doing a lot of my forward planning in there is better because it works a little bit better with some of the systems I use. However, I will never give up paper, but I did give up a pre-printed planner this year. My main planner, my only real planner is my bullet journal. This will be the first year that I am trying to go bullet journal only. If you've watched any of my Plan As You Go series in the past, they have always been to show how I use a weekly planner and a bullet journal in tandem to plan my life. But a lot of that had to do with the various meetings and commitments at church and volunteer commitments at the kids' school that I was juggling. And I don't have those right now, partly because of COVID and partly because I'm in kidney failure and I don't have the energy for it. So it's, for me, mainly work, things my kids are doing, things my husband has to do, doctor's appointments. That's the sort of thing. So this will be my planner, my bullet journal. Now, with this being my bullet journal, I will say that I can link up above my bullet journal setup for 2021, which has a lot of things I plan to use throughout the year in it. However, some of the things that did not happen in that video, and I will likely do a video, let me know in the comments if you're interested in it, talking about how I have streamlined my personal method of using the bullet journal method. I'm not always great with the words. There's no key in here, there's no index in here, and there is no future log. I don't need a future log because, like I said, all my future planning is on my Google Calendar. So there are things in here, but some of the things that are kind of core to the Ryder Carroll original bullet journal method, I'm not using because I have discovered they don't work for me. So if you're interested in a video where I talk more about that, let me know and I'll bring it up in January. This notebook is a Baron Fig. It is the plus size, which only comes in two colors. I think I have the light gray one. The plus size is 7x10. The flagship size is a little smaller than A5, so this is bigger. It's in the realm of, I think, what is it, A4 ? Maybe I'm wrong about that. I wanted a bigger one because I found that some of the things I'm doing, like the Alistair method, which I will leave in the description below, a video explaining the way I do the weekly Alistair method that was adapted by Plant-Based Bride. The way I use that and the way I like to plan, I needed more space than a standard A5 notebook, and I did not want the thick-ass paper of like the Archer and Olive or Notebook Therapy because I do not like 160 GSM paper for bullet journaling. I don't paint in my bullet journal. I have no interest in it. I doodled in my bullet journal and shit, but like I want my paper to feel kind of crinkly and used, and this paper works for me. It also has a cover on it. This is the leather cover that Bear and Fig makes for their journals, and it was not cheap. I bought it on Black Friday on sale, but it smells like leather. It's already getting like scratches and shit on it, and I just like the way it feels. Plus the wine color is like my favorite color that they make. I have it in one of the smaller ones, but they don't have it in the plus size Confidant. This is that, and we'll see how far I get in this. It has 200 and something pages, like 204 pages. I wonder if I can get through the whole year in this. I'm not sure. Probably not. And if Scribbles That Matter comes out with notebooks with paper that's more similar to their original paper, then I might switch back to that. Size be damned, because those were the notebooks I started bullet journaling with, and ever since they changed the paper, I have felt such a sense of just like betrayal. My main planner. That's going to be its name. Maybe I should just put that in like with my label maker on the front. We'll set you to the side, little large giant bullet journal. The other main planner, like if I was telling you just about things that involve me planning the future. It's so funny. In the planner community, we talk about using planners for things, but often it began its life as a planner, but you're using it for something entirely different. And I've got that coming too. But for the two items that I am actually using that are not my Google Calendar to plan ahead, to think about things that are happening not now, planning ahead. It's my goal planner for the year, and it's the Cultivate What Matters Power Sheet. I have a video I will link up above where I go through the entire prep work. It's long. And a shorter one that I'll leave in the description where I talk about my goals. I love the method that they use, and this year they had like condensed it and made it a lot more direct. There's a lot less fluff, and I really appreciate it. And I love the way that they have updated the inside. Monthly calendar, I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with. I am thinking about it, but I really would like to use this. This might be like a place to kind of map out my ideas as to what to do with my business, but actually I feel like this might actually be more helpful mapping out the things I want to do around the house, like the non-business related goals, because so much of my planning in my Google Calendar and in my bullet journal revolves around my business, because I run it by myself and I have a lot of things to do. But that's 3 of my goals. We have adulting goals this year, physical and mental health, working with my kids, and stuff about my house. So I might use this to be kind of like the brainstorming calendar to plan out my non-work related goals. So this is something I will be doing at the beginning of every month. Usually I make a date for myself between like the 25th and the 28th, whenever there's a good time for me of every month, to sit down and work on my goals for the month and break out my tending list. And I do post a video of that at the end of every single month. So if you want that, just make sure you're subscribed, because the first one of these actually will be coming out, I think, next week for January. Obviously, I haven't done it yet. The point is that I utilize the power sheets to help me figure out what I said I want. Like I say I want these things in my goals. Well, if I say I want these things, how am I going to make that into a thing in the month that we're in? I do that. I work through that here. And then that helps guide me to figure out the things I need to get done in my bullet journal and in my Google Calendar. Like that gives me kind of like the beating heartbeat of the shit I'm supposed to be doing. Now, to be fair, there are plenty of things that are related to the areas where I have set goals that are not actually included in them that I have to do every week. This kind of gives me the focus. The things that I say matter most to me will be in here to help me prioritize them when I plan out my shit. So these 2 items are actually with my Google Calendar. So let's pull that out here to get the group together. I do not refer to my planners as a gender. That's fucking weird to me. Like I've never understood referring to your planners as like a she. Like, they're what? But if you do it, then, you know, I'm accepting of all planner genders and gender identifications. These 3 things, my Google Calendar, my bullet journal, and my power sheets, these are my planners for 2021. However, like I said, sometimes we use things that begin their life as planners. for things that aren't actually planning. And I want to talk about a couple of those, plus a couple of things that aren't actually planners at all, but are going to be kind of utilized in my daily and weekly shit. I want to show those too, because this is kind of a wimpy stack. Most people bust out like 8 or 9 or 25 fucking planners. And I'm like, here's my 2. I'm not a minimalist, I swear. I really am not. You should see the shit behind me. First and foremost is my Hobonichi Weeks, the planner I swore I would never use. However, in the summer, when I was on my grand quest to try a bunch of different planners, I got the Printpression Weeks, which is a 3-month thing with better paper than this crappy TP bullshit, which I hate. And I loved the size, not for planning my life out normally. At that point in the summer of 2020, I did not have much going on, so it fit, but I knew that anytime shit started to really get back to busyness, even if it's still a socially isolated busyness, which it is right now, that the size would not work for me for planning my life. However, I realized it could work for me for something that did not work out for me in 2020, which was memory keeping. I had given myself a Stayology Beast. I think it was an A5 size Stayology notebook with this same like TP paper. I gave myself a page a day. And I did that for a while until shit really hit the fan, because honestly, like, I'm not doing enough every day to take pictures and like memory keep every day during social isolation. As somebody who has never been able to stick to a memory keeping practice, a page a day was a little optimistic, shall we say. But the size of the little weeks felt doable for me. So one of these weeks has the week on one side where there's enough room to like jot down a memory or a quote or something, or just a little notation of something that happened that day. And then there's a blank page on the other side where there's room for a couple of like little HP printer pictures, little sprocket size pictures, a little doodle, little lettering, little stickers. Especially since I'm bullet journaling, I won't be using stickers as often. I will be using stickers from time to time in my bullet journal, but I don't imagine I'll be doing it anywhere near as often as I was in my regular planners. So having a place to get a little creative once a week, or I can pull it out throughout the week, but like having the time maybe every Sunday morning or something to sit down and just jot out my week will be really, really nice. And so that is on my 21 for 2021 list, and I can leave that linked up above. I got all sorts of links going on, right? Memory keeping weekly in this little planner, even though the paper annoys the shit out of me, the reason I wanted to go with it is because it has the whole year of the layout I want in here, and look how pretty it looks. We'll see how that goes. And if you're wondering what the hell I mean when I keep talking about the TP paper, I am convinced that Hobonichi Weeks Tomo River paper feels like what would happen with toilet paper if you like used it to wipe up your pee-pee and then you left it out on a hot day on the sidewalk to like dehydrate in the sun. That's what it feels like to me. My husband just walked in looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the Adam Kurtz Unsolicited Advice 2021 Weekly Planner. This will not be a planner for me because this is not going to work for me. The size, the wire O binding, this is just not the business for me as a weekly planner. However, I love this thing. I did a review on it. You are more than welcome to watch the review. This thing has the kind of quotes and little comments and little activities in it that are right up my alley. And so what I decided to use for this was to do morning paragraph. Now, I've been trying to do morning pages because I like the idea. And when I have actually done morning pages, they have been very helpful to me in terms of helping me focus. However, typing them has never seemed to work for me, and physically writing them activates my tendinitis. I have tendinitis really bad in this hand, and as a lot of my work has to do with lettering and illustrating, if I use it all up on writing out 3 pages every day, I'm not going to be able to actually do my work, so what the hell is the point of doing it in the first place? So instead, I'm going to be doing morning paragraph. And I believe someone tagged me in Instagram stories and referred to it as morning paragraph. And so I'm stealing it from them. So let me know in the comments, because I did not save the story, so I don't remember who it was who said it, but I think it's hilarious. A little bit amount of space to just get some stuff off my mind first thing in the morning with a little dose of life is often surprising. It sounds perfect to me. And it's small enough to fit in my drawer where I'm going to put my morning routine shit. So I'm going to be kind of revamping my morning routine in January, and this will be a part of it. Definitely. I want to have this to look at every single day this next year because this little planner is delightful. So those are the 2 planners that I'm using for things that aren't planning. I have 2 more things that I want to talk about, and these things are both sort of unrelated to planning, but yet at the same time, I just figured I'd mention them. This first one is a steno notepad. I've actually mentioned it in my favorites before. I got it from Staples. The brand is Town Street Arts. I cannot find it online, but I love it because the cover has that linen-y feel, like plastic, but still that like texture. It feels fancy, and I have been using it all year to like map things out. And like, here's me mapping out and like doing some math for a bullet journal setup. I always have a use for just a regular ass notebook or notepad, because sometimes my bullet journal is just, it's too formal for what I want. I want something I can scribble on. This thing got me through writing my second book. This thing has gotten me through multiple things where my planners have not really served me, and it's not full yet. So I'm going to keep using this. And when I'm done with it, I'm going to find another steno book with a nice sturdy cover that feels a little fancier than your garden variety 99-cent steno book. I want it to feel, even though I have paper like hanging out of it, I just want it to feel a little bit more substantial. 10 out of 10 recommend having just a regular notepad that you can use, whether it's a legal pad or a steno pad or a notes pad, whatever you want. Just some kind of notebook that you don't worry about whether or not your shit is fancy in it. I don't really worry whether or not my shit is fancy in my bullet journal, but this is like free reign to just scribble all over waste paper if I have to. This is my like, Garbo pad. This is my brain dump pad, and I love it. And I 10 out of 10 recommend that you have something like this available to you at all times, because it will help you when you are feeling a little bit procrastinating about how fancy your shit is looking. Say fuck it and go for the notebook, and it'll help you get your brain working again. And then I wanted to share this because I have filled up a sketchbook for the first time in I don't know how long. This fall, when I was feeling really not creative and really like weighed down by the cabin fever of COVID, as well as my kids really struggling when school started and having to be in an all virtual environment and being teenagers, and RJ starting his first semester of high school, I filled up one of these sketchbooks with watercoloring. I didn't do it for YouTube. I didn't do it for Patreon. I just did it for me every day, almost every day. I just opened one up and I started using it. And this one, I've just used one page of it so far, but I'm going to continue using it. And I wanted to mention it because for a watercolor sketchbook, it's just a great size for me, as well as great quality. And this will be my second one, and I'm hoping to continue to fill one of these up once a month or once every couple of months, just to continue trying new things and practicing when I don't have the stress of the cameras on me, if that makes sense. So this is a Stillman and Byrne sketchbook. This is I think it's the Gamma series. They have multiple series of sketchbooks with different kinds of paper. And no, maybe the Zeta series. Where is it? I have the blue one. I should have looked this up ahead of time. This is the Zeta series. It has smooth white paper, 270 GSM. I have used both this. I think the one I had previously was the Delta series, which the paper had a little bit more tooth to it. But I'm giving the smooth paper a try. I might go back to the toothier paper, but they're soft cover, they're good quality, the paper is nice and thick, and they have multiple series with different thicknesses of paper meant for different mediums. They also have hardcover and wire-bound series. I got this at Blick. No, I think I got this one at the local art supply store, and I got the other one from Blick. If you can order from Blick.com, you can find almost all of these in stock. It has that matte cover, that matte soft touch cover that kind of gives me the skeevies, but for sketchbooks, I actually prefer the matte cover over the hardcover or the wire cover, because it feels a little bit more substantial to me. These two are my like little bonuses that I just wanted to bring up because they represent important parts of how I think and how I do like run my week and run things. And even though they're not planners or planner related at all, to me, they were important enough to mention. So here is my planner series, my planner stack, if you will, for 2021. Technically, only 2 of them are actual planners, but you know what I'm saying. These are the notebooks I plan on using. I also am considering bringing in another morning related planner, but I don't know yet. So stay tuned for that. I might just be talking out my ass at this point, which is entirely possible. I'd love to hear from you in the comments what planners you're going to be using next year. Are you just going bullet journal? Do you have a stack of them? Are you one of the happy planner people who uses 800 planners at the same time? And if you are, wow. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And until next time, friends, peace out.